Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day from the Impact Power Sports studio. I finally saw Nikki Glazer's set from the roast of Tom Brady, and it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was just like one big hitter after another. My God. And delivered expertly. You know, it's one thing to write the jokes, but then you got to deliver the jokes. And boy, did she. Oh, that was it, just so impressive. Just kicked everybody's ass. Nikki Glazer joined us in the studio when I was doing the Ben and Eric, not the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, the Eric Zane Show on WBBL with Ben Glaze. And my God. She fell in love with Ben. I'll never forget it. She was actually like flirting with Ben Glaze. Of course, Ben didn't know what the hell to do. He's like, Nick writes, big fraud request line. You left me hanging. Yeah, I did. I remember you. You requested a song by The Sword, which I think is some garbage band that you like. I was going to do that, but then time got away from me, and I just forgot. My apologies. Sorry. So where was I? Anyway, yeah, that roast was just incredible. One after the other. Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, they bombed, which is surprising. I don't know how they managed to do that. It seems like everything those guys do, everybody falls in love with. I think Segura's more funny than Kreischer. But overall, that thing was just an absolute smash. If you don't have Netflix, make sure you check it out. All right. Before we get to the rest of what we're talking about today, I need to remind you that Dear Meathead happens in about 40 minutes. And the same old song and dance, it seems like I just struggle to get questions on this. Chris or Mark sent one, and I don't know if there's anything on the Facebook post. I mean, are you telling me that every one of you has nothing in your life going on that is worthy of just dropping a note on my Shoreliner striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Hey, Meathead, my wife wants to do blank. What do you think about this? Are you telling me that all of you have everything is fantastic? Even if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is you want to share, send it along on the Shoreliner striping inbox. My God, I posted some pictures, by the way, of Dad, and incredible. Always wonderful to see him. So that is on my Facebook. If you want to check that out. And you can leave a question in the comments or just send it along, eric@ericzaneshow.com. See, Kyle says, hey, Meathead, what's up with this ZZ Top song about a pearl necklace? Is this jewelry? I'm not going to ask my dad that, you stupid gay idiot. Why can't you just ask a question? Why does it always have to be something silly or stupid? You see, part of the problem is you guys try to be too funny. You try to be cute. And unfortunately, you're not. So can you knock it off and just ask him a normal question? Why is that so hard? Jesus. Talking about pearl necklaces. Okay. I might have to reboot this thing because it's wrecking my life right now. I don't know. It might work. I'm going to try it again. Let's see here. Because, okay, there it is. That's what I wanted to do. Thank God. Okay, this is what's going on with Lucy Ebel. She was just recalled. Let's get to the long and the short of it right now. Here is what is happening after yesterday's election.
Following severe weather across West Michigan, but also the results of several local elections.
One of the biggest was in Ottawa County, where voters decided if they wanted to keep Commissioner Lucy Ebel in office. And voters tonight decided to recall Ebel in favor of Democrat Christian Kleinjans.
County
Kleinens.
Commissioner Ebel, one of several
Look at her.
conservative
Gross.
commissioners backed by the Conservative Political Action Committee, Ottawa Impact. The organizers behind the recall effort said that Ebel and her Ottawa Impact counterparts are too extreme in their views.
Now to Newaygo County, where two Grant
that's
School
it?
Board members, Rachel.
We can't even get a man on the street interview? Well, I could have done that, you idiots. One of the biggest local elections that there has been in a long, long time, and that's all you can come up with is saying she lost? What a pile of shit. My God, get a fucking staff. All right. I'm going to bring in Joe Spaulding here. He's one of the people, grassroots effort to get Lucy recalled. And he's been on this show many, many times. He was on yesterday. And it's just fantastic. I can't wait to get his point of view about this since as this story has unfolded in the last 24 hours.
Hey, Eric Zane, how you doing?
Very well. Congratulations to you and all the people that are working with you, Joe Spaulding.
Thank you. I think it's a great day for Ottawa County.
Yeah, I have people in the chat that are talking. Megan, she says, tell Joe, thank you very much. Aram says that Channel 8 should have interviewed you. I just played the Channel 8 story on it, and they didn't even send anybody. It's just like they just reported on it. You know how like Fox 17 has Matt Witkos, who's been all over it?
Yeah, and Witkos had to go cover the Twister down south.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, right. he would have been in the victory party there. And I mean, I'm not News 8 isn't my favorite local news organization, but yeah, there was no press there. Chris did a few phone call interviews.
Yeah, so he's going to get right to work. When is he sworn in? Is it like the next meeting?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not exactly sure when Justin Roebuck does the full certification of the election results, but as soon as that is certified, the next meeting after that is when he gets sworn in.
Now, when this all started, when Ottawa Impact won election, like 2 years ago or whatever it was, they had 7 people or 8 people that were
on board. I mean, it's an 11-member board, and because it was really just Doug and Roger at the very beginning that were not on there. They had 9.
Right. So now we're looking at 6 Ottawa Impact members and 5 that are not.
Yeah, not full on board. And then that changes the dynamics because they have to pull together as a full coalition, right? In order to make sure they get any of their whack job stuff passed.
Right.
And the stuff that gets passed like that ends up being, all the laws are equally valid if they get passed, but everybody knows the legitimacy in terms of ability to overturn something that increases when the margins are smaller.
Okay. So, you had who was the one Republican who was part of Ottawa Impact, and then he kind of turned on him, but he's still a Republican.
So that was Jacob Bonema.
Okay,
and then they had Kyle Terpstra, who was on board with them originally, and then he kind of bailed and resigned, and was replaced with Kendra Wenzel, the lady with the super Karen lady.
Okay, and she is on board with Ottawa Impact.
Absolutely. She's I think she's like a chair, some type of Republican county party person.
Right. And yeah. Because when the one guy stepped away, Terpstra, they can replace him with anyone that they want. Right.
That's right.
Okay. So
they live in the district. Yeah.
Okay. So they ended up doing that. Had that not happened, had Terpstra stayed with his job and kind of distanced himself from Ottawa Impact, right now they would be looking at 5 Ottawa Impact members, 6 that are not.
Yeah, that's what it would be. I mean, and these things are incremental, and it just won by the slightest margins. But just getting there is worth it because that's what the win is. I think that everything for me has been about this November. And so the other subtext to what's going on is the fact that this is a level up for us. We get to be extremely cheerful in victory, and we get to have a model for turning people out on this specific issue of this like really, really bad mismanagement of county government.
So there was north of 4,000 people that voted in yesterday's election in the district. And if I'm understanding, it was 60% for Kleinens and 40% for Lucy.
Yes, it was almost exactly a 60-40 split. And I mean, throughout the day yesterday, I was tracking. We knew how many people had sent in absentee ballots because the township clerks keep that number. So we kind of had the number of absentee ballots. And then we had people, as people vote, they come out and they tell us what number they were when they voted. Or we have folks that go in and ask the election workers how many people have voted so far. They're a pretty common question that gets asked to poll workers. And so we knew throughout the day how many people were voting in most of the precincts. And so by the end of the day, when we're waiting for these results to come in, they came in two quick batches. I think they were within like 10 minutes of each other. And I felt like Justin Roebuck was kind of milking it, but maybe I'm wrong, in making sure that those went in last or came out last. But when the first batch came in and Christian had over like 2,300 votes or 2,200 votes in that batch, it was mathematically impossible for Lucy to win with the number of votes that we had. So we knew about 5-10 minutes before it was called in the room that we had won, which was super cool.
How many people? So there was that many votes. Was that a lot more votes than when Ebel won that seat originally?
I don't know. I don't believe so. So originally, that was on the 2022 ballot, and I was running against her in that race. And that was, everyone came out and voted for the governor and Secretary of State and Attorney General races. And a lot of those folks checked the party box, and so that's like 2,400 votes in a general election, even when there's no president on there. So this is an off-year election, 20% turnout. It's still huge. 20% is huge for a May election.
Right, absolutely, which tells me that all of the because what I was trying to get at is if the amount of votes were about the same, that would mean a huge swing, either of people deciding one or the other, or people that would have supported her didn't show up, and people that don't support her did show up. I guess it's tough to tell the exact specifics, but in the end, she ended up losing big.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to see the big swing in the math, you just look at how many people voted for her in that race, and then how many people didn't vote for her now. It's like, a difference of 3,000-4,000, which means that no one ever turned out in 2022 for Lucy Ebel. They just turned out and they voted down ballot, like without thinking about it, for Republican. And we've changed that.
Sorry about that. I stepped on you. The thing that stuck with me a lot yesterday was I could not get over that weirdo interview that Whitco's did. Well, it wasn't Whitco's fault when she just said, sorry, I got to go. To me, that was so, because I'd never really heard her talk other than the time when she was saying Jesus is king over Ottawa County when the recall election started, when the whole effort started. And I was floored at just how dumb this woman is.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. She does not talk very much. And, lately in meetings when she's talked, she's reading off a script. But if you've been watching every single second of every single meeting, there are just so many moments where they go to vote on something and she's like, what are we voting on? Or, what's the motion again? And that's like an inside joke for the activists or the folks that go there and give public comment, because she always fucking loses the spot.
Okay, so now what do you guys do now? Just try to get ready for the November election? Are there candidates in place to try to take these people out? Are you open that new Republicans will take over for the old Republicans? You want obviously you want Democrats. I don't know if that's going to happen. This is a red county. I mean, where do you go from here? What's next?
Okay, so mathematically, the percentages in turnout are still pretty valid markers, and we have historically high turnout in District 1. And so for me, it's not a question of making Ottawa County blue. It's a question of building up a solid enough wall and barrier against anything like Ottawa Impact coming back again. And so right now, for me, there's one Republican that's running, and that's Mark Northrup in Hudsonville, who's running directly against Joe Moss. And I don't think that there's any super bad negative repercussions for him getting support in the primary from Democrats in his district specifically. I do think that in District 1, where we have had some of the precincts in Ottawa County that have turned out over 1,000 people for Gretchen Whitmer in the past, I think in District 1, where Danielle Smith is running against Gretchen Cosby, and I think that that's a place where we need to make sure that we're standing firm behind the Democrat. And then Chris is going to be running for re-election again. And this is something that I didn't even really think about, just so busy with the recall and everything. I didn't even think about it until this morning, but Chris Kleinjans is going to be running as the incumbent in November, which is an advantage. That's awesome. It's so cool. So
wow.
I think that those are important. And then we have some countywide races where there aren't Democrats running. So we need to make sure that we back DeBoer for sheriff. And I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the woman who's running for county prosecutor, but we need to be backing the woman that's running for county prosecutor and not the Greg Todd guy, because he's kind of weird. But he also he caucuses with Ottawa Impact. So we've got a path forward with the Democrats, and I can tell you that internally, all this comes down to, like, we know how to beat these guys. And I've got a plan for some of the places where we've historically have come close as Democrats to build that solid wall, a defensive wall against what they have tried to do to our county moving forward.
Well, scoreboard. I mean, fucking A. Great job. Everybody involved. You, Larry, all oh my God, all these volunteers who did all that time and all the clipboards and all that shit. I mean, this is how it's done. I mean, to actually get a goal, work towards it, and nobody. I mean, if anybody was discouraged, other people probably talked them out of it and kept them going. So I can't say enough about this. The proof is in the pudding. Really great.
Can I say one thing about the petition side of this stuff is that level of organizing has been far too unreachable for grassroots level activists, for regular people, for far too long. And we need to, and I don't want to, we need to democratize our access to that stuff. We need to be able to make sure that when there's a situation that has a local level democratic corrective action available to it, that the people on the ground that want to make the change have access to ways of knowing how to do that. And so I think that's something that I want to be working on moving forward. And I know that there's a lot of work being done on civil discourse so people can talk through these complex issues a lot better other than screaming at each other. But I think that we also need some sort of practical apparatus so people can do this work. It shouldn't just be that I happen to have run the statewide petition and I live in this district. That's why it happened here.
It makes sense.
Should have been everywhere, I think.
The next meeting that has public comment is when?
Ooh, we've got I believe it's the morning one, so it's next Tuesday. It should be 9 a.m. I'm not positive, but next Tuesday.
Oh, they're going to be so pissed. We're going to get all of the usual suspects that are just going to be raising hell, and I can't wait.
That's right. We have to take a drink anytime. I'm sorry, just kidding. But no. They're going to talk about election interference. They're going to mention George Soros. They already are online. These guys are so weird, but they're predictably weird.
So I haven't heard a peep, but you probably know where to look more than I do. I'm kind of glad I don't have that type of insight. Are they already claiming the usual My Pillow guy type of bullshit?
Absolutely. Saying things like, oh, well, they didn't fix the machines from before, so what do you expect?
Okay.
Or he can't win by 800 votes. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And then meanwhile, they're in the same conversation, there are people who are I tried to talk to a lot of people to vote, but nobody wanted to vote. And you're you guys can't put two and two together there. You guys, it sucks to suck. It really sucks to suck.
All right. Joe Spaulding, thank you again. And I can't wait to hear what's next.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks, Eric Zane.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. I just like talking to you, and it's been a very interesting period of time. I'm glad that it's slowly but surely ending.
Yeah, let's see it through November.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you.
Yeah, bye.
There you go. That is Joe Spaulding. A lot of hard work there by him. Kyle writes, hopefully we can hail Satan at this meeting. Satan has done so much for us. I can't get behind that. I don't even like saying that. You know, I know that Bender just uses that as kind of like theatrics. But, my God. Wolverine Broncos says another GOP whack job removed from office. Keep up the good work. Look, let's be honest here. In Ottawa County, we just want Republicans that aren't idiots. We would even settle for that. Okay? I would take any Republican that's not crazy and not a right-wing idiot like these wackos are. Conspiracy theorists, all that bullshit. And a Republican who's not looking for revenge. I would absolutely be satisfied with a practical Republican. Okay? Just a little bit closer to center. I can live with that. So that's kind of like a big pool. I would take any practical Republican or anyone else other than what they have in there right now. My God. What a bunch of fucking fools. Well, I hope they had their fun because I think the end is near for them. All right. Thank you for joining me on Facebook, X, and YouTube, but I'm going to kick you out. I want you to follow me on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live or download the Twitch app and simply search Eric Zane Live, and there you go. You'll be in good shape and ready to enjoy the rest of this show. I do it each and every day right at around this time. Thank you so much. The audio podcast I make available later on. Subscribe to any of the audio platforms that I'm on. Just search Eric Zane Show, and you will see me. And then subscribe, rate, and review, and you can listen to the audio whenever you like. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. In fact, tomorrow it's a Big Fraud Thursday, where we will start the evening's festivities off with another rip-roaring edition of Who Are These Free Beers, where Ben Glaze and myself review current episodes of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show. So we'll be looking forward to that. I was going to go with a guest roaster this week. His name is Trey. Nice guy out of Nashville, Tennessee. But I think we're going to pause that and punt and maybe come back at a later time. Still something I want to do, but I need to kind of rethink that. All right. So that's all on Patreon. The Ben and Eric Patreon podcast happens shortly thereafter, and Patreon is free for 7 days if you like. Just go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. Sign up for 7 days free with a payment form, credit card, debit card, whatever. And then to ensure that you don't get charged, you sign up and then turn around immediately and cancel it, like the next minute. And then once you cancel, you still get the 7 days, but then it won't charge you. I'm of the opinion that if you like it, you can then just sign up again. That's what I would like you to do, because I don't want someone to sign up for 7 days free and then ultimately not like it. And then they're like, I wanted to cancel it, but I forgot and I got charged. That's not how I want to do it. So that's the risk-free way that I can encourage you to checking out my Patreon for 7 days free. So you still get the 7 days, even though you've canceled. If you like it after the 7 days, sign up again, and then you can throw your $5 or $10 a month at it. Okay, so thank you so much, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Bye-bye. For the rest of you, here you are. Twitch and Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Thank you so much to them. X brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Follow me on those platforms as well as on my YouTube channel, Eric Zane Show, and on Instagram. Email eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. I see BRI has come in. That's Molly. Oh, my God. Thank you, Molly. Molly has a question. Patrick sent a question. Dono sent a question. Tara, Chris, Megan. Oh, you guys are all over it. I appreciate your help so much. Makes things so much smoother and fun for Dad. Okay. Let's see. Pin Pusher says this is a scam. Easy is a scam. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Keep it on the down low that I'm trying to trick people. Okay? Okay. What was I going to talk about? What else do I have for you today? All right. Last night at Bosco's, I got to hang out and sitting there doing my thing, making some of the best food you've ever had. And I get an order that comes in. And I look at it, and the person wants some chicken tenders. Now, let me just tell you about these damn chicken tenders. They might be the greatest chicken tenders that have ever chicken tendered. Oh, my God. People rave about the chicken tenders. Somebody wants chicken tenders with fries, and then it says no bun. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to I get the attention of Abby, the lady who's waiting on the tables. She's I think she's about 21, 22. And she's okay, she's 6 foot tall, by the way. She might even be a little bit taller than 6 foot tall. So I look up at her and I go, Abby. She goes, yeah. I go, what do you mean by chicken tenders with no bun? And she just starts laughing in my little face. And I'm like, why are you laughing? And it was a prank. It was a joke because I've talked on this show so many times about no bun. When asshole people come into the restaurant and order food, a hamburger with no bun. This was Jason, one of the people that comes in every single week, listener of this show. And he comes in with his pal, sometimes his girlfriend, and who you all know, but I was told not to say anything. Which I'm like, well, I mean, how much longer do I have to wait to not say anything? Yeah, Jason and this young lady were dating for a period of time, and then they weren't dating. And then the next thing you know, like months pass, they show up at Bosco's, and Jason and this girl are dating again. I go, well, that's nice. I'm thinking to myself. But then young lady says, don't say anything. And I'm like, well, why? What the hell? I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. What's the big deal? You guys seem happy. What the fuck? You're here eating a burger. Anyway, she wasn't there. Jason and his buddy were there, and Ding Dong orders fucking chicken tenders with no bun. I'm like, you asshole. People fucking with me. But no, it was all good. Had a good time there, and I may be back there again today. It all depends if idiot Doug decides that he needs help in the kitchen. All right. So glad that you are here. We've got my dad happening in 17 minutes. The open and live stream of today's show, brought to you by Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. So if you or someone you know or love is getting set to retire, okay, it isn't just as simple as, oh, I'm of retirement age. Now I get my Social Security. Now I get my Medicare. No. Now they'll warn you that there's things coming up that you have to take care of. And that's fine. You can probably do it on your own. But why? Why would you bother even stressing about this? You need to have a licensed independent insurance agent / broker to help you out with all of the things that you need for a healthy, happy retirement and signing up for your Social Security benefits and your Medicare coverage. Frank is the expert with that. And the best part is he is your guy, and there is no cost when you utilize him for his services. He gets paid by insurance companies. So keep that in mind, whether it's you or someone you know or love. If they're getting set to retire, Frank Fuss, My Policy Shop Insurance. You can set up an appointment by reaching out to him at buyinsurancehere.com. Buyinsurancehere.com for more information. He'll help you every step of the way. Berlin Raceway. We are racing at Berlin this weekend. My God, Saturday races. It's Mother's Day weekend. $14 a pop. Mom would have a blast. Bring her to the races. Smell the rubber. Smell the fuel. $14 a pop when you buy tickets online. Parking free. 15 and under free. How affordable is that? Bring in your own cooler, 12 by 18 or smaller, with all of your snacks and soft drinks in it. You're good to go. You're going to have such a great time. Plenty of booze to buy when you're there. So you can bring in your own snacks. No alcohol, no glass. All for a great time at Berlin Raceway. Online at berlinraceway.com. The immortal Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. When it comes to your furnace setup, or your AC, I should say. We're talking AC right now. You got to get that thing cleaned and tuned. You got all the mechanism that's inside of your home that needs to be looked at. Make sure that it's running at the optimum level. And then outside of that home, the thing that the cover comes off and there's all that dust, dirt, and shit on there, that's got to be cleaned, because that's where the air is coming in that your home is going to be cooled with after the air conditioner does its thing. So all that dirt, dust, and debris that's on there, that is slowing down your airflow and wrecking the efficiency of your system and shortening its lifespan. So spend the $79 and get your AC tuned up today. 616-516-8579 for A&E Heating and Cooling. Loving your questions and comments on the chat. Chris says guest roasters would be sweet. I am going to do guest roasters. By the way, I might be putting the cart in front of the horse. But one of Chris's passions is local soccer. And I think there is I'm not sure if Chris's team that he works with if this is a professional league or semi-pro or something like that. But he reached out to me and he said, EZ, we need a PA guy for our 5 home games this year. Now, they're sprinkled in May and June, and they play over at Davenport University. But he says, EZ, would you be interested? And I'm like, I might do that. So then we got to the point of the conversation where I'm like, all right, we got to talk turkey here. Like how much we got to talk about compensation. So what he's doing here is he's going to the so-called board. There's a soccer board. And they're going to break it down whether or not they want the number one PA guy in all of the land to be the in-game PA host. Holy shit, it'd be fantastic. So tell them to hook up a truckload of money and tell them that they get front and center, and I'll even promote them on here. Okay, how about that? Kenny writes, I went to one of my favorite burger places Monday night. I ordered Brussels sprouts. No burger. I was sad, but proud of myself. Okay, I might need more information on this. Were you, by chance, were you by yourself? Because I can't picture you alone going to a restaurant and then ordering, and they see you walking in, they're like, oh, God, we're going to make some money on this guy. And then you order Brussels sprouts. By the way, those baked Brussels sprouts with like Parmesan on them or whatever the hell they put on them, or some type of, I don't know, sometimes there's almost like a sauce that comes with them, are fantastic. I don't know if you know this, but if you look it up, the flavor of Brussels sprouts has actually changed over the years. That was something that when you were a kid, if your parents gave you Brussels sprouts, it was like you throw up. But it's very, very bitter taste. They're like little cabbages. Through genetic engineering I've read this somewhere, I swear to God, unless I dreamt it. They went ahead and made it so that they've transformed the taste of Brussels sprouts so it doesn't taste like you're eating an asshole. Kenny says, yeah, Red Robin, and I don't know. I just Parmesan crusted Brussels sprouts. First time that I can remember eating Brussels sprouts. God, you went to a restaurant did you have like a hamburger in mind and then you said, nope, I got to eat healthy? Is that what you did? My God. Kenny says he was not by himself. Okay, that's good. Patrick says Brussels sprouts are complete horse shit. I can't agree with that. All right. That's what I was looking for. Was Kenny alone or was he with someone? He was, and it was a date. Okay. Now look. I want you to take this necessary step right here. Preemptively. Don't speak of this person. Keep the cards close to the vest. All right? Because for a decade now, what you do typically is you'll go on one date and then you will profess your love. And then the next thing you know, you got the blues. So I want you to keep it under control. Chill. None of this, I'm in love. I'm so in love. And we love each other. And she loves me. And I love her. And I'm going to snuggle. And it's going to be beautiful. Stop. Don't do any of that. Okay? That has never worked. You got to take it easy. Jimmy asks if you shit your pants later in the date after the Brussels sprouts. Aram says, Kenny, do you appreciate that picture Eric painted of you going out to eat Brussels sprouts by yourself? Well, I didn't necessarily paint a picture. I was simply asking questions. If he had said, yes, I was alone, I would have been like, God damn it, that's horrible. You're going out to a restaurant alone to eat Brussels sprouts? Fuck, just stay in and make your own. Jesus. But good for you, Kenny. It seems to me, Kenny, that you, like every time I see you eating or hear about you eating, it might just be me, but I think you've made some solid choices lately. And I don't know what's going on. In my opinion, after the amount of time that's happened, I would guess that you've probably lost like 300 or 400 pounds already. Good for you. Good for you. Sometimes you need that. All right. Gisele Bundchen is reportedly upset at the jokes in the Tom Brady roast. Now, I want you to watch this. I don't want to sit around and just play the goddamn jokes, okay? But there was one moment in particular. I'll just talk about it. When Nikki Glazer, because the rumor is that Gisele left Tom for her jiu-jitsu instructor, some young guy who's teaching her martial arts. Brady's sitting right there, and she says, Nikki Glazer says, so not only can that guy kick your ass, he's eating hers. And, I mean, it was the hits just kept on coming. And that with, especially, because that's all I saw. I saw her and Tony Hinchcliffe. He was funny. But, I mean, Glazer, it was, I've never seen something so devastating in all my life. It was right up there with some of the legends like Greg Giraldo. I can't say enough about how fantastic it was. And so now Gisele is reportedly deeply disappointed by marriage jokes in the roast. I was like, God damn, you idiot. Shut up. She, 43 years old, deeply disappointed by the disrespectful portrayal of her family on Sunday evening's roast show. And I think that's interesting because it was incredibly disrespectful, but it's a roast. So, who gives a shit? That's just the way it is. And I don't think she helps by acting like that. You should just ignore it. She's actually helping the publicity for it by talking about how disappointed she is. Who gives a shit? If I'm Tom Brady, in that meeting before, when they talk about what you can talk about, what you can't, I'm Tom Brady. I say, yeah, dude, you got to make as many jokes about her as possible. You got to go hard. I'll pay you if you go hard on my ex-wife. Okay? Hammer her. Let it be known. You beat the shit. I don't care if I even take strays. You go for it. That's what I would do. The insider claimed that Bunchen is particularly worried about the way her kids might interpret the jokes that aired during the Sunday, May 5th live special. Well, sorry, that's the way divorce goes. Okay? It's never really too fantastic now, is it? Sorry. My God, to think that she can just say that and make it all go away or even express herself that way is just ridiculous. In my opinion, she's doing the kids a disservice by bringing more attention to it. The quote is, as always, Gisele's priority to support her children who were affected by the irresponsible content that was broadcast. That alone makes me want to watch it more. Bunchen shares son Benjamin, who's 14, and daughter Vivian, who's 11, with Brady, who's 46. She is also the stepmother of Jack, who's 16, whom Brady shares with ex-girlfriend Bridget Moynihan. Man. They divorced in 2022 after 13 years of marriage. Let's see. Anything during the roast, Kevin Hart joked that Bunchen gave Brady an ultimatum about retiring from football. She said, you have to retire or you're done. But when you have a chance to go 8-9, you got to do it, said Kevin Hart, who he got hammered too. He said that before quipping that Brady fucked Coach Bill Belichick by leaving the New England Patriots for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You fucked him good. You did, Tom. You fucked your coach. But let me tell you something, people. That's what you've got to maintain. That's what you got to do to maintain your happiness. You sometimes got to fuck your coach. You know who else fucked their coach? Gisele. She fucked a karate man. Oh, my God. She says that's a lie. I did not do that. She's saying that she's denied vehemently that the timeline was after the marriage. Doesn't matter. She says this is something that happens to a lot of women who get blamed when they have the courage to leave an unhealthy relationship and are labeled as being unfaithful. They have to deal with their communities. They have to deal with their family. Of course, for me, it just happens to be a little bit amplified. Well, if it didn't happen, if I were you, I would be suing everybody for slander at this point in time. I think you can still sue somebody if it's true, too, by the way. I might not know all that. I'm not too good on that. A source told Us Weekly that the twosome who went public earlier this year began dating in the summer of 2023. Nikki Glazer. One of her jokes was, Tom, you have 7 rings. Well, 8 now that Gisele gave hers back. And then it talks about the joke that I mentioned earlier. Your ex-wife's new boyfriend can beat your ass while eating hers. Oh. In an interview after the roast, Glazer noted that she and other comedians decided that Brady's children would be off the table as joke topics. We all collectively just decided not to involve his kids too much in anything because they didn't ask for that, she told Howard Stern. Well, I thought she indicated something about the kid. Well, I guess them making fun of Bunchen or making fun of Tom would in some way, the kids would be taking strays that way. But, God, I cannot imagine growing up like that. And that's true. I think that there is something to that. But I don't know. I don't. I can't say that I am anything but all in on the roast for Tom Brady. Star-studded event, I should say. And you can still see it on Netflix. Hollywood Joe says it's funny that Brady is more protective about Robert Kraft than he is the smoking hot mother of his children. Yes, we talked about that on Monday, remember? You better knock that off when he's talking to, what's his face, the roast master, Jeffrey Ross, because he made the massage joke. But they're making all these jokes about his ex-wife, and he's like, whatever. It's fine. And that's what Tyler writes. Brady, quote, you say whatever you want about Giselle, but keep Robert Kraft's name out your fucking mouth. Oh, my God. Donut Dan says, you're a celebrity. You signed up for it, sweetie. Tom drew the line at the Robert Kraft joke, though, says Wolverine Bronco. Greg Giraldo's hit on Carrot Top was the most devastating. Oh, my God, yes. I'll never forget that. Rest in peace, Greg Giraldo. It's time to bring in Dad for Dear Meathead. See how he's doing. All right. You sound like you're in a well, guy.
Meathead to the rescue.
Good day, Dad. How are you?
Okay. Are you back in that hole again?
What do you mean? Do I sound like I'm in a well?
No.
Oh,
but,
okay. No.
It sounds great. Sounds good.
Yeah. Sorry, I threw me. No, not in a hole. Doing well here in the studio. How are things with you guys?
Hey, all right. Beautiful sunshine. And what? And Joanne's got her teeth fixed.
Oh, are you sure she wanted you to talk about getting her teeth fixed?
No, I had a tooth pulled.
Oh my God.
She had a tooth pulled.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Are you okay, Joanne?
Yeah, I'll live.
She's a tough lady, isn't she, Dad?
I know, but she got sensitive side.
Yeah. Are you? So you guys are. Other than that, everything's okay. Everybody's got their fingers and toes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all right.
Okay. What's the plan today? Anything going on? You're gonna go do any visiting? Maybe pick up some leaves. What's happening?
Well, no, because she's really got a situation on her teeth, So
okay,
we're not gonna push her for that.
Yeah, how you guys should make some drinks or something. Give Joanne some wine.
There you go.
Yeah, it's 11. I mean, it might be a little early. You might have to wait an hour, but I mean, it might be a few glasses of wine today.
Well,
hey, it's 12 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it is 12 o'clock somewhere.
She hasn't slept all night. So.
Oh, damn it. Okay, well, hopefully that turns around for you.
Should be all right.
Megan has a question, and Megan asks, Dear Meathead, I'm taking a trip with my daughter in the car, a long trip, like a road trip. Any tips or fun activities that my daughter can do that you may remember when you were driving? Dad, do you remember driving us to Florida in that Chevy Vega?
Vaguely.
Yes. We were in this small car. We had to drive all the way from Michigan to Florida. I think I remember specifically you losing your mind. We were driving you crazy.
I believe what you're saying because you always remember all of these things that I don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a tough thing for a parent to have to endure. Kids in the back seat on a long drive. I mean, kids get bored like 1 second after you pull out of the driveway.
That really is a long haul.
Yes.
You got to be ready for it.
I remember you used to say to Mom, because this was before you and Mom split, you were like, Bertie, you got to do something to entertain these kids. So Mom would turn around and we'd like play patty cake or whatever the hell, or get out a deck of cards or something. Oh my God, that poor woman. It was awful.
Yeah, it's tough, rough going.
Yeah. Chris says, Dear Meathead, what are some things that you think I should do or that you do whenever you're feeling stressed? You want to, like, you got something on your mind. What do you do to get it off your mind, Dad?
I don't know. Joanne, what do we do?
You don't get it off your mind. You stay stressed.
Oh, so you just stay there and bitch about it to Joanne.
Yeah, that's what you should do, because I'm bad news with that stuff.
So you're saying complain to your wife is what you should do?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you and I are similar in a lot of respects. And I know that whenever I get stressed out about something, usually it amounts to nothing. But if I had to go back, I could tell you that I probably at some point during any stressful moment have said to Diana, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? And then she usually makes me feel better.
Oh, that definitely is the route to take.
Yes, indeed.
Before it happens.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Never pay the price before it happens.
That sounds fantastic. Never pay the price before it happens, and then it probably never will happen.
Right.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That is very wise.
I feel out on that one.
Yeah, don't even worry about it.
Oh.
Because it never turns out like you thought it would.
It never does. It never does. Anytime that I've ever had any type of worry or fear, it just doesn't come true. And I'm like, why did I waste my time being all worried about that?
You suffered for nothing.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great attitude.
Maybe I ought to take off drinking.
You tried that.
Yeah, that only took me so far. I don't know about you, but that was fun for a little while, and then I was like, you know what? This probably isn't the best thing.
You know what? I don't even think about that stuff. It's been so many years since I touched that stuff.
I know
Are you
it.
kidding?
Can you believe it?
I'll never do that.
It was a lifetime ago. Oh, my God.
Do it.
I'm envious of people who, because most people can handle their liquor. Most people can drink okay. They can have a glass of wine with a meal, maybe sit by the fire, have a cocktail or two, and then that's the end of it. But you...
Joanne does that.
Yeah, that's what normal people do. That's what it's intended for.
Well, I never was normal when I was drinking.
No, I was the same way. I was just like, how many can I consume in the shortest amount of time as possible?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and what did she say?
Remember the bong?
Oh my God, the beer bong. Yes. Oh. Yeah, that was weird because we did that in front of you guys, and you're like, go ahead.
Hello.
I kind of, in a lot of ways, you were probably like, well, they're going to figure it out before too long that this isn't that great. And then sure enough, oh boy, not so good.
Gosh.
Yep.
That was history years.
Yep. Oh my God. My pal Maureen says, Dear Meathead and Joanne, one of my biggest fears is tornadoes. We actually had some tornadoes here in Michigan yesterday.
Yes, I have a big fear of that too.
Me too.
Have you,
Joanne?
Yep.
As well.
Have you guys ever had to take cover?
Yes.
Well, kabong. That's enough warning.
What? At your place, do you have a place where you can hide?
No, we got nothing.
Isn't there like isn't there a crawl space you can get into?
We have a hole there in the ground there.
No, we don't.
We don't?
Oh, we have. Yeah, we do. But you made the door so heavy we can't pick it up.
Oh my God! Yeah, it looks like Dorothy's house in Wizard of Oz. You got this heavy door on the thing. Yeah, you gotta make it that accessible in case there's a tornado. You can head in there. Head into the cellar.
Absolutely.
The best thing I know is jump in your car and try to get out of town.
Yeah, I don't know if that's recommended to try to drive out of the way of the tornado, especially if it just pops up right in front of you.
The opposite.
All right, Mother's Day is coming up. This is a big day for our beloved Joanne. Is there anything on the horizon that that your daughters or stepkids are going to be doing for you, Joanne? Have you heard anything through the grapevine?
Well, Lizzie usually takes me out to dinner on Saturday, and Susie has me over on Mother's Day. Nikki sends me expensive shoes from California.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, it always helps to have one daughter who's loaded.
Yes.
Yes, because she's going to send you something fancy. That's fantastic.
Yes.
My pal Don says, I need some ideas for Mother's Day. I'm hoping that you guys can help me out. And I think you just did. I think one of the things that moms or mothers of children that are wives want the most is just time, time together.
Yeah. I really often wonder about these things. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Granddaughter's Day. I mean, I just have no desire in following it.
What do you mean?
Thank God.
You don't want anybody to. Oh, okay.
Celebrate all of these individual days.
You're the type that doesn't like anybody making a big deal, right?
Well,
maybe just like any other day. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I treat it like that.
Yeah, but I think everybody else loves to spend time with you, and that's a good reason to do it.
That's all right.
Both of you.
Why can't we just come visit me?
That's typically what we do. So, and we show up, we have some food, we break bread, we have the shish kebab, all that stuff.
You look so forward to that, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
I can see.
I do. Yeah, I do. I look forward to that.
Yeah, Dad, this will be our third or fourth year in a row that we've done this again for this, because Mother's Day is in May, and Father's Day is in June.
Yeah. I really like that. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. So, I think that is a very, very important day. So we just love that. So there you go. Spend time, Don. That's all you got to do. Patrick in beautiful South Carolina writes, Dear Meathead and Joanne, my son is entering the science fair at school. Do you have? Yeah, a science fair. He's a school-age child. Do you have any ideas for a winning project? Like, what can he do to impress the judges at the science fair?
Make a doorbell.
Joanne, make a doorbell.
Well, that's what you did when you were little.
Oh yeah, Dad. Didn't you tell me one time that you invented the doorbell?
In Iran, yeah.
In Iran, we did.
You invented the doorbell.
Yeah.
I
made it to make a noise.
Take me through that. Was it? Did you have like electronics, or was it just a string attached to a bell?
We made something. I don't remember how we did it, but it was something that would made it ding dong, ding dong.
So, are you telling me that there's an Iranian patent for doorbell by you?
Yeah.
There is not.
Well, I mean, I did that. I was really, I was a do-it-yourself guy. I invented things and
yes,
just that crazy.
You're
thing.
the only ding dong in the neighborhood.
So I was the only ding dong in the neighborhood.
Dad, that's all excellent, and I'm glad that worked out. Molly writes, "Hey, what is your Meathead? What is your favorite story from your family's history? Is there a moment from when you can think back in your family's history, whether it be here in the U.S., whether it be when you lived overseas, when you were a kid, that is just your favorite thing? I think I know what your favorite story is, but what?
I can't remember.
Sitting on the mountain singing.
A what?
Singing off the mountain.
Oh, we had this mountain that I would go on. I mean, that was a hell of a mountain.
Okay.
I'd crawl way up on the top, and I would sing the song again.
Yes, I remember that story, Dad. You've talked about how you would go up there and with your pals, and that was a very popular song. and you guys would sing from the mountaintop.
I would be the singer.
You were the singer.
Again, this couldn't happen before.
Do it. Do it.
How's that?
Keep going. Keep going. It's perfect.
Well, I think that's it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
This is my life for a lifetime, and then I can't remember anymore.
That's not bad, Dad. That's not bad. Spectacular. Finally, Molly says, what is the, if you can think back, because you were born in 1934, what is the most important historical event that you have lived through? And how did it impact you? You know, if you think back, you know, born in 1934, that's in between World War I and World War II, I believe. And then, you know, you were a young boy then. But what do you remember as the single most important historical event that you lived through, Dad?
I cannot remember historical events, but I do remember one thing that involved my family.
Okay.
It was very serious business. It was my father picking up my brother. We're living at a bypass area of a river. It's right at my house that we have a river next to it.
Yeah.
And father was going to toss my brother across that river. And then the police department is across the street, grabbed a hold of him and pulled him back. Well, my brother would have been gone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a raging river. He's probably like 9 years old.
He would have been gone.
All right. So basically, this is a traumatic moment that has stuck with you when Grandpa decided that he was done with Uncle Garo.
Yeah.
Wow, that is not great. I am sorry that that's what pops into your brain. That is very sad, actually. I feel bad that you.
Not me. And that river runs deep, baby. It is a powerful river.
Right. I know what you're talking about. There is a river that runs right through Tehran, Zargande, Tehran, Iran.
And we live right next to the police department.
Right. Yes. Wow. Dad, I wish there was a better moment that how about if you're talking about a historical moment, do you remember like the bicentennial or maybe like 9/11? Of course, historically on a personal level, you marrying Joanne or when your kids were born. You remember those days, right?
I really don't have too much memory with those.
Okay. All right. Hey, that happens. That actually is a bummer that, you know, all you can remember is when Uncle Garo almost got thrown in the river.
Yes.
My God. I wish there was more that was popping in there. Well, if something else pops into your brain, we have to hear that at a given point, okay?
Well, one thing was, on almost a daily basis, we use the river to dump our garbage.
Oh, Lord. Don't tell people that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Now, were they like bags of garbage, like plastic bags, or was it just like you just...
We didn't have no plastic stuff.
Okay.
So, food residues and leftover food and this and that.
You just throw it in the river. That's it.
We throw it in the river takes it down. Who the hell got it at the end of it? I don't know.
Now, you didn't have any plumbing in the house, did you?
No.
Okay, well, what happens if you got to go number 2? Do you just throw that in the river?
Yeah, everything goes in there.
God. That sounds like...
we had a bathroom.
Oh, you did have a bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we had this guy who would come up there once every often suck it all up.
Oh, okay. You got it's like a septic system.
Septic cleaner.
Okay. What a disaster. My God. Holy cow. Well, Dad, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to leave it right there. We as always can't thank you enough. Everybody loves you guys, and Jesus, it's just fantastic talking to you.
All right. Hey, that audience of yours is fantastic people. Anybody who put up with my crap and my analogies and all that, it's got to be one hell of a nice, great person.
Come on now. They love hearing you speak.
Well, I mean, hey, I love them right back.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Dad. You guys be good, okay?
Okay.
Okay, love you.
Love you too, honey. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye. There you go. That's another rip-roaring edition of Dear Meathead. I think Dad is getting to a point where it's, I don't know, I can't speak for all of you, but for me, I'm just starting to feel like no matter what we ask him, it's just kind of bouncing off of him. Am I wrong? Or are you feeling that he's getting something out of it? And I still think he enjoys it. But I said to myself, I don't want to do this segment if it's starting to sound like he is really struggling with his dementia. You know what I mean? I think that because I do my best to try to protect him and talk him through it. And Joanne helps further the ideas along so that he can talk about it. And you're hearing the little things that come out of his brain. Like if it's a really old memory, he is able to tell you specifically. He's told us many times a story about when his father almost threw my uncle in the river when he was a kid. Those are still relatively strong bonds, but in the area of memory now, things that he could have told us before, he's starting to, those bonds are becoming weaker. You know what I mean? And he can still talk. He can still feed himself. He can still recognize people to a degree. But I don't know. I only want to do this if it seems like he still enjoys it. And if he still enjoys it, that is the number one thing. You know what I mean? I still think it's okay, but I'm trying to be protective at the same time. Does that make sense? You know? Chris says, I think you may be right. Joanne feeds him the answers quite a bit these days, but he still loves doing it. Maureen says, I see the signs because I've seen it with my parents, but I think he still enjoys doing the show, and we certainly enjoy him. Good. I just don't want it to be awkward. You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to be like, oh, boy, this is just not good. And I'm very, very cautious about this. Becky says, I love your dad, but I think you're right. If he still finds joy, keep doing it. Megan says, I love him so much. Maybe switch up the segment to just a chat. Yeah. Molly says, I love hearing him. Ryan, Aram says he seems to enjoy it, which I would think is still good for his health. Correct. Chris says he loves it. You do so well with it, though. He enjoys it so much and makes us all laugh when he gets going with the story. I think he would be sad, Kenny adds, if he didn't do it anymore right now. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. I still feel good about it. I don't want you to get the wrong idea that I'm like, oh boy, we just got to stop it. Because you're right. I think that's sudden a stopping of doing that, of doing the segment. I think it would hurt. It would make him sad. We just don't want our old boy depressed, for God's sake. Blue State Rob says if it was not enjoyable for him at all, then we'd know it's time. Aram says, I agree with changing it to a chat. I wouldn't publicize the segment, though. Yeah, I see what you mean. Maureen says, I love that you are protective of him. I think we're all on the same page. You know? This will involve a little bit more because when I speak with him typically, like let's say I just call him and it's not podcast related. They're kind of short conversations and it's tough to find things to talk about. So this will involve a little bit more preparation on my end, I think. But it's nothing we can't handle. And if he enjoys it, that's going to be fine. I think we're all on the same page. If you have any thoughts on it, feel free to email me what your opinion is of it, Eric@ericzaneshow.com on the Shoreliner Striping inbox. I'd love to hear your input on it. I just want to be careful, make sure I'm doing the right thing. You know? Okay, EZ has to go tinkle. I'll be right back. Thanks to Megan. She just sent me an article that I previewed. I don't know why I said it previewed when I was going tinkle. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy, in an interview, this from the New York Times, was talking about his health. He's only 70 compared to the other two idiots who are running for president. And one of the things he's talked about is how athletic he is. And I guess he really is. Like, there's video of him going down a hill on a snowboard with a professional snowboarder who's saying, yeah, he rips. He's really in great shape. In 2010, so he was in his 50s then, right? I think. He was having memory issues, and his brain was foggy. And he's like, God damn, what is wrong with me? And his one of his relatives had died of a brain tumor. I forget which famous relative it was. Might have been Ted. Who knows? And so they did like an exam of his brain, a scan, and they determined that there was something there that shouldn't be. So the guy that operated on his uncle was the same surgeon. He said, okay, you got a brain tumor. We got to get rid of this thing. That's the problem. As he's getting close to the surgery, he was driving around in a car, and the phone rings. It's the surgeon. He picks up the phone. He says, hey, man, we have reassessed this. You do not have a brain tumor. It's like good news, bad news. He goes, good news, bad news. What do you want first? I want the good news. Okay, the good news is you have no brain tumor. Okay, what's the bad news? The bad news is instead of a brain tumor, there was a worm in your brain that ate a lot of your brain meat and then shit out your brain meat, and then it ended up dying. So you got a dead worm burrowed into your brain with digested brain chunk that has turned into brain worm shit. So we have to go in, cut open your head, open up your brain, and scrape out the dead worm and the piles of brain worm shit. That's what your problem is. And it worked. Every so often, usually when it warms up, people swim in lakes. And then somehow they get something up their nose, and then the next thing you know, they're dead. They've got like a pelican in their skull eating their brain. Something hatches, and then all of a sudden there's platypus feet coming out of their eyes. You're dead. God damn. This is so bizarre. Usually once a year you see a story, and it's usually something really horrible, like an 8-year-old boy is dead. You know, it's his brain's just falling out of his eyes and his ears and his nose, and it throws up brain. There's brain coming out of his dick hole. Maureen says, I think I'd rather have the brain tumor. Maureen says, I just worry about fish nibbling my feet. When I used to swim in open water, which I used to do a lot, there's a lake nearby here called 8th Avenue Lake. But I call it Lake Mexico because there's always Mexican people there. And this is back in the triathlon days. And I was so involved in it that I just put on my wetsuit and I would literally open swim for 1 straight hour. Swimming for 1 straight hour in this lake, just around it. And it wasn't out of the question to see marine life. And there was one time in particular that a turtle, my face is in the water, and I'm down, and I'm seeing the algae blooms and shit, and sometimes it touches you, and it's a little unnerving depending on where you're swimming if you get into a bunch of algae. And a goddamn turtle comes up and hits right on to where my goggles are, swims right up there, and bumps into me. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Kenny says, give me chlorine. I don't even want the water. You're right. I can't believe I did that. Megan says that lake is a damn disaster, not because of the people, but the E. coli and the drownings. Oh, yeah. On a bad rain day, the E. coli levels are just through the roof. Good old Lake Mexico. Love it so much. All right. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Ric Flair. Wrestling legend caught in a heated altercation at a restaurant, I guess. All right, let's take a look at this one and listen.
Yeah, good. Well, I didn't do it wrong.
Now, he oftentimes sounds drunk when he talks. it might just be years of hurting himself or years of alcohol, or he's drunk right now. I don't know.
Except spend money and put this place over and bring my family and friends here.
Okay, so he's talking to the bartender. I spend money and I help put this place over and bring my family and friends here.
That is bad for you.
That is bad for you.
Well, watch those.
Guy says, why would it be bad for me? Ric Flair says, watch those media tomorrow.
Media tomorrow.
I don't follow social media.
Well, you better.
I don't get stuck on my phone.
What's your name, nut job?
What's your name, nut job?
Nicholas what?
Nicholas what?
Nicholas Dickhead.
Nicholas Dickhead.
You don't have to call me like that, sir.
Don't ever talk.
You don't have to call me like that, sir.
You don't have to do this to me. If you believe me and my family.
I'm not removing you.
I didn't do one thing wrong. I walked into the bathroom.
And you cussed on my kitchen manager.
Oh, you're a kid I accosted. Really? What world do you live in?
The same world you
What world do you live in? How did I accost him?
Okay, the AI is trying to generate the text, but it's missing it.
Did I touch him?
Cuss him. You said cuss.
I never said a cuss word. You know, is that his word against yours? I didn't say one cuss word.
He called him Nicholas Dickhead.
Okay, we're good. Let's go.
God. No, ma'am, I'm going to give you $1,000 tip just to say to him, kiss my ass. And if you walk outside here,
You don't have to be disrespectful.
This is what happens when people have money. They just don't know how to act.
I know you're disrespecting me.
How am I disrespectful?
Telling me to leave.
I'm not telling you to leave, but just telling you that you're cut off.
Oh, I'm cut off because I'm drunk?
Okay, he's trying to cut him off. So Flair is drunk. Look how bright red his face is.
Really?
Yes, sir. It don't matter if you're famous or not. It's the
Here,
same
ma'am,
experience.
ma'am, please give yourself $1,000 tip.
All right, let me do it.
$1,000 tip. This guy and I are so cool. She and I are cool. And along comes dipshit. I said it.
I never did.
I'll say it again. You're a dipshit.
Okay, now he calls him a dipshit.
You have to get out of here right now.
Oh, I'm leaving. Trust me. I won't come back again.
Thank God.
Come outside here and talk to me like a man.
I'm not going to do that because I'm on the clock.
You, of course you are. You're on the pussy clock.
Rick goes, come on out and talk to me like a man. And he goes, I can't. I'm on the clock. And Rick goes, you're on the pussy clock.
Hey, you want to go out and talk with me in the parking lot? Because I don't work here. I don't give a shit.
Oh, now the other guy says, hey, you want to go on the clock with me? I don't work here. I don't give a shit. He's talking to Ric Flair.
I'm sorry, sir, but please stop. Please stop.
What's that?
No, sir. Please stop. Please stop. Okay?
What did you just say to me? What did you just say to me?
So another customer wants to fight on behalf of the guy who works there.
Excuse me.
Oh, I brought my whole family here.
I need one of those little bar straws for mixed drinks.
Do you know how many?
Just one.
Just one?
I'm not mad. I have no reason to be mad.
All right, it's hard to hear. I think that's where it ends. Nearly fights Nicholas Dickhead in parking lot. Here's Flair in 04. He looked like a pile of shit back then. That was 20 years ago. Oh, that's fantastic. Patrick says, I think that's Hall & Oates in the background. Blue State Rob, Kenny says, did he want no bun? LOL. Oh, my God. You're not kidding. Patrick says, this is a sad story. Patrick is a big wrestling fan. He also says, karma is real. Flair and hard times. Flair put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and the entire Rhodes family in 1985, and now it's all coming back around. Oh, my God. Cole says Ric Flair is always in character. It sounds about right. Another meathead, not nearly as screwed up, though, is Sylvester Stallone, who is, honestly, has the biggest fan in our audience. Our audience has Adam Balboa, who sent me just the other day that he got a new pair of workout trunks. I'm not kidding you, which look like Apollo's trunks, the red, white, and blue with the stars. He actually bought those. And I'm like, you're not going to wear those out in public, are you? By the way, Kenny with the joke that referring to Ric Flair, even Randy Travis can talk better than Ric Flair. That was from the Patreon the other day, the AI Randy Travis. Donut Dan says, I met Flair at a high school wrestling match when I lived in North Carolina. Yeah, Adam's all about the anything Sylvester Stallone. Now Stallone is looking to score some money by selling his watches. His watches are rare. I don't know how to say it. Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime. Patek Philippe or Patek Philippe? Don't know. He's auctioning off his watches via Sotheby's on June 5th. Now, I don't know about you, but any watch that I've had, I've lost. Either lost or damaged. And I do that with watches. I do that with sunglasses. Basically, I don't have nice things because I lose them. I bought a microphone 6 months ago. And it had a case, and it had this little interface that you hook up to your phone. You can do these man-on-the-street interviews. I actually lost the goddamn microphone. I have no idea where it is. I left it somewhere. Like, it's not in this house. So I would be scared to death if I had an expensive watch. So I just avoid those things. Stallone is auctioning these watches off. And it's a $6 million watch collection. My first thought is, why? Why are you auctioning these things off? I mean, why wouldn't you want to, I don't know, is he short on cash? There's no way, right? I mean, he's one of the most beloved stars in the history of the industry. He's auctioning 11 luxury timepieces from his collection. Included in the sale are the rare Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime. That originally sold for $2.5 million. I don't know how anybody could spend that much money on something like a piece of jewelry. I mean, if I'm going to own anything, it's going to be something that I can actually have an experience with. You know, something that I would spend money on, a lot of money on, would be something that that leads me to something else along the way. So it leads me to another fantastic moment or a way to enjoy life. How can you possibly, what is there to enjoy other than people look at it that you have a watch? You know? What's the point? I don't understand that. In 2019, at the Only Watch charitable auction, a one-off steel model Grandmaster Chime sold for $31 million. And I know a person who's a jeweler. I say, what makes a watch so expensive? I mean, because I have a watch, it tells the time, it costs $100. It tells the same time that watch tells. And I guess it's the quality, the amount of time that it takes to make it, everything done by hand. The parts are rare gemstones, whatever, rare metals. Why the fuck? Who gives a shit? Stallone's watch is set to fetch between $2.5 million and $5 million, but it could climb much higher. And now I want to know why. Why are you selling these watches? Are you hurting for cash? All right, look at. Here's some of these expensive watches. It looks like any fucking watch. Who gives a shit? From left, a Patek Philippe. And on the right, a Nautilus and Patek Philippe. These cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It looks no different than my Timex that I have in the drawer. Stallone seems like a pain in the ass to me. Like, because Adam shared with me, anytime Stallone has one of these stupid, he posts on Instagram, you know, there's videos of him doing something dumb. It's always around his house. And he's always got paintings of himself everywhere from the Rocky movies. It's just real annoying. Patrick says, like a hot tub. Well, I mean, a hot tub, you can get into the hot tub. There's hot water. You can spend time in there. You can have a drink. You got your wife, your kids, whoever. You're having a party. Jump in the hot tub. There's an experience there, something fun. What happens in the hot tub stays in the hot tub. Okay? A watch. You can't get into a watch. Chris says he'd have a Rocky-shaped hot tub. Kenny says, I was hoping you were going to say he was auctioning it via eBay. And then he adds, his daughters probably have more expensive plastic surgeries than him now. Maybe that's why. Blue State Rob says it's about rich people showing off how rich they are to other rich people. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. God damn. There's something to be said about that Warren Buffett dude. One of the richest people on the planet. And he lives a very modest lifestyle. I love that. I love people that live modest lifestyles. Rebecca, great point. A hot tub can help your sore shoulder. Which, by the way, it's a little better today. Yesterday it was a little concerning. I think maybe all these lateral raises I'm doing, and I'm getting strong at these. God damn, I write this strong. It might be starting to have a positive impact. The muscle that I'm growing. Poor Kenny writes, I live a very poor lifestyle. It's because I'm poor. Oh my God, you poor son of a bitch. Well, go get rich. What's keeping you from, what's holding you back? Go get rich today, Kenny. You've got a lot to offer the world. This is what you do. You got it all laid out for you. Go ahead and lose 200 pounds and then write a book about it. Do like Jared. Just don't touch kids. How I won the war. And then have like a before picture and an after picture. Go get rich. You've got a story. Just go write it. I think you can do it. I think you all can do this. Come on now. Rob says, at least you can get fucked in a hot tub. Yeah, exactly. I won't, but you can. All right. Speaking of wealthy, thank you to Amanda for sending this guy. This guy went into a Cartier is how I say it. A Cartier jewelry store. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it's Cartier, which is French, I'm guessing. And he sees for sale a piece of jewelry. It might have been an online sale. I'm not sure. Let me double check. Okay. The Cartier website was selling a luxury piece of jewelry. Earrings. Okay. And he went ahead and he bought them. And he couldn't believe the bargain he got. His name is Rogelio Villarreal. He's a physician in Mexico. And he bragged about his purchase. He says, I just purchased these Cartier earrings. And they went for $14. Now, you can't buy anything Cartier for $14. He buys them for $14, but Cartier charges him $14,000. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No. These go for $14. You promoted it as $14. I'm paying $14. They said, sorry, we charge you $14,000. That's the cost. And that is the actual cost of these earrings, $14,000. So he's like, okay. Well, he sued. And he won. The judge said, yep, you have to sell them for $14 to the company because it was, in fact, a typo. My God. I take it back. Cartier actually attempted to cancel the order after he bought the earrings, saying, hey, they're not available. The representatives from Cartier tried to explain to him that the price he paid was incorrect and they wanted to cancel his order. In an email obtained by USA Today from Villarreal, the news outlet reported that Cartier wanted to gift Villarreal a complimentary bottle of Cartier champagne and a leather Cartier item for the misunderstanding. Villarreal said no. And he used a contact form on the company's website to review their store policy. He filed a complaint with the branch of the Federal Consumer Protection Agency. Eventually, Cartier and Villarreal settled the matter out of court, and the company gave him 2 sets of earrings because he bought 2 of them. Oh my God, these are $14,000 a piece. I'm going to get 2 for $28. And it fucking worked. The guy ended up, okay. If I'm the company, I mean, I fight like hell to try to keep that from happening. But I don't see how they would have a leg to stand on. They're probably just hoping that he'd be like, oh, okay. And say, yeah, I'll take your gift. But my God. That is something. He gets the earrings for $14 a pop. Jesus. That is something. And then folks are like, you should give them back. And like, I don't know. I mean, if I saw an error and I bought it and then they said, no, we changed the rules. I don't think that you can do that. I think that once it's posted and you're advertising it, you have to honor it. I think that's basically what they were basing the entire case on. You turn around and sell those things, right? My God. Incredible. As always, I'm excited to have to talk about my amazing sponsors like Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 616-532-6600. Get your car fixed at Irvine's. They've been partners of mine for a long, long time, and I'm so glad to keep them as a partner of mine. And I want you to have your vehicles repaired or maintained by them. 616-532-6600. ervines.com. That's ervines.com. I've got an official barber on the show. The King's Room Barbershop, 3 locations. Caledonia, Northland Drive, and at 821 36th Street in Wyoming, Michigan, next to the costume room. Excuse me. Kingsroom.net is their website. Check the website out for exact locations, schedules, and whatnot. King's Room Barbershop, where guys and chicks who get their hair cut short get their hair cut. Check them out online, kingsroom.net. Got the Vouch Store. The Vouch Store is open right now for you. Vouch.store/Eric Zane. If you need a new toothbrush, that's right. A new toothbrush is just $8. Get one today. Vouch.store/Eric Zane. Impact Power Sports. Nick, I would be looking to you to bang on their door for your next big side-by-side that you're going to buy. ImpactPowersports.net. I'm sorry, I'm screwing that up. ImpactPowerSportsMI.com is their website. They are in Rockford, Michigan, right along 14 Mile Road. So if you're in the market for an ATV, UTV, motorcycle, new motorcycle, e-bike perhaps, scooter, Yamaha golf cart, they have it all at Impact Power Sports. My man Mario from the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage reminds you that if you're in the market for getting a mortgage, consider the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out at 231-332-6505. They will work tirelessly for you when it comes to getting your mortgage secured. And finally, how could we ever forget Rick from TC Paintball, who I'm sure is going to be reaching out very soon to schedule Paintball War number 25. Book an event today at TC Paintball. Birds are chirping. The sun is out. The days are long. Let's do this. TCPaintballGR.com if you want to start the fun. If you got young kids, I recommend the low-impact weaponry. Okay, they've got the Little League there, TCPaintballGR.com. They'll have so much fun. It's like, especially the kids who don't get a lot of activity because they're just not into sports. Paintball will get them moving, and they will love it. And I'm sure you will too. TCPaintballGR.com. We have to announce an asshole of the day. Okay? Who do you think is your asshole of the day? I think I know. I have to get the spelling down. That's a hint. You can leave your suggestion in the chat. I'll go over what you think in a second. As you know, the asshole today is brought to you by TC Paintball at TCPaintballGR.com. Asshole today, Cole says, is Nicholas Dickhead for messing with the Nature Boy. Bullshit. He didn't mess with him. Amanda would say you, Eric, you missed her birthday announcement. Well, I did my best. I must have missed it. Giselle Bundchen, she is the asshole of the day, without a doubt, for being butthurt about the roast. Get over yourself, you twat. Yeah, happy birthday to Amanda. I love it when people announce birthdays here. So thank you. Thank you for the reminder. It's Amanda's birthday. 56 years old today. Happy birthday to you. All right. That's my time. Talk to you on the Patreon. Have a good one, folks. Thank you, and bye-bye.